welcome to the video, guys. This is the Nerdy Hobbyist. Today we'll be doing a video of Magic the Gathering. I won't be playing this game, or playing this video, rather, but it's more of a welcome to Magic, basics, things I wish I knew when I first started getting into Magic the Gathering. I'm in no way an expert or anything, any synonym for that. I just enjoy the game. So we're starting off with what you do on your turn. When you begin, you untap your lands and your creatures, and you draw a card. Every time you play a creature on the battlefield, it comes in tapped. For your main phase, you play a land, and you can only play one land per turn. Then you cast your creatures and or your sorceries, and we'll get into what creatures and sorceries are in a minute. You do the next phase is combat. You declare attackers. Your opponent or opponents declare their blockers, and then combat damage is dealt. And then you have a main phase again, where you play land if you haven't already. You can cast creatures or sorceries again. And then after that, once that's all settled and done, your creatures heal up whatever damage they have taken at the end of that turn, as well as your opponents. And you pass the turn on to the next player. And we're going to jump into the next thing, which is types of cards. You have creatures, which are the monsters. They're the almost backbone. Everyone kind of knows them. They attack and they defend for you. Instants, one-time use spells, and they can be used at any time, even on your opponent's turn. And they can change the flow of the game. Then you have sorceries, which are also one-time spells, but can only be cast on your main phase. So it's a little different between sorceries and instants. Instants, I don't think they're as strong as sorceries, but they can really disrupt that flow. And then you have your lands, which I would say are their backbone. They're the foundation. They generate mana, which is the resource for casting spells and the creatures and everything. It was the next type of cards, because there's quite a few, how to make a couple panels, and you'll notice that as we go on. Artifacts, which are magic items that provide passive buffs and remain on the battlefield. And then enchantments, which are magic effects or auras that stay on the battlefield, altering the rules of the game. Two different things, but have very interesting effects. Similar, but very different. And then you have planeswalkers, which I've honestly never used too much of. They're alley cards that act or represent other wizards. They have the loyalty counter at the bottom, correspond with their abilities that you can cast or activate each turn. Again, I'm not super familiar with them, but I've seen them and they are pretty cool. And the next thing we're going to be doing is the colors of the magic and their benefits. Colors of magic, excuse me. And these are ranked, in my personal opinion, on hardest to learn down to easiest. So you have green, red, white, black, and blue. I personally think green is the easiest. Then red, and then blue. I know there's a whole stigma around blue being like the hardest one that everyone kind of hates. And then you have, for green, you have, which is my personal favorite, by the way. They deal with big creatures, mana ramp, efficiently destroying artifacts and enchantments. So they're really good at that. And mana ramp, or ramping, is basically building mana by using cards. Usually you just get one mana, or however many the land would say. Usually it's just one. But green has a really big thing where they can ramp it up. Red is, I call it speed blitz. You have loads of damage opportunity from spells, as well as quick, which is haste, creatures, in large supply. Haste, we will cover that later in the video. There's like 3 or 4 uh, slides or sections of different abilities. There's quite a lot of abilities in this game. But this one, you can get a lot done really quick. But if you do not, you kind of burn out. You kind of fizzle out. Like it's like fire. Then you have white. Angelic life gain is kind of what I think of when I think of white. You have small, weaker creatures, but you're given the opportunity and chances of giving them buffs of to make them strong, to make them worth it. You also gain life gain. You can get life gain in the other ones as well, but life gain in white is phenomenal. And then you get removal, which is a whole thing by itself. Then you get black, which is, I think of black, I think of necromancer. It uses your own life points, which is different in each version of Magic that you play. You use your own life points to draw extra cards, perform removals against your opponent, and reanimate from the graveyard. And they also, a lot of their cards, and for the black color of Magic, have really cool and interesting discarding effects for when you discard one of your own cards. Blue, the most hated. JK. Counterspells, counterspells, counterspells. Blue is one of, if not the worst when it comes to, like, if a blue player has mana left open at the end of their turn, you know you're probably going to get counterspelled. They also have the ability to control the board, but it kind of makes you the target. You can draw cards, gathering knowledge of your deck from drawing more cards. The types or formats of gameplay, like I said, you're going to have different life points depending on which form you play. Commander, which is I think is most common. Standard, which I played both of those a good amount. And then Modern, Alchemy, and Pioneer, I haven't done much with, I don't believe. Um, I just, I don't know what to say. I just haven't done much with them. But I have done Standard and Commander, and I do like both of those. I will have to try out the other 3 and give my honest opinion. I think we're moving, onto abilities. Ooh, we have Death Touch. Goated ability, in my opinion. Any damage dealt by this creature to another creature destroys it no matter what. It could be like a 1/1 weakest creature, still going to chop down whatever it deals damage to. Defender, this creature can't block. Double Strike, this creature deals both first strike and regular damage, practically attacking twice. First strike, this creature deals damage before other creatures without first strike. So, if say I have Death Touch in my card or my monster, my creature, and someone has first strike, and they attack me with their first strike creature, and I block with my Death Touch, and my Death Touch will not proc or will not activate against their creature because I didn't get to strike unless it doesn't kill me. But most people aren't that dumb to use up their first strike creature. Another 4 abilities are Flash. You may cast this card anytime as you could cast an instant. So you can cast it on your opponent's turn, your turn, however. It can really disrupt the flow. Or it could just be like a time saver if someone's trying to figure out what they're going to be doing. You can kind of help out if you're playing like 2v2. Then you have Haste, which famous for red. The creature can attack and tap on the turn it enters. Enters control, excuse me. Flying can only be blocked by creatures with flying or with reach. We'll get to in a second. Hexproof. It cannot be the target of spells or abilities that your opponents control. But haste like I said, when you play a creature, it enters tapped. If it has haste, it can enter untapped and can attack that turn. So it's like speed blitzing. Then you have indestructible or indestructibility or indestructible. Sorry, cannot be destroyed by lethal damage or by destroy effects. I put that in quotes because it has to specifically say the word destroy. Lifelink is one of those, the big one from the white mana. Damage dealt by this creature also causes you to gain life. Menace, this makes the creature that has it cannot be blocked by 2 or more creatures. And then Reach can block creatures with flying. Lifelink, so if I have a 3/3, 3 attack, 3 damage, or 3 attack, 3 defense or health creature, and I attack, I do 3 damage to the player or the creature, and I also heal for 3. So, really good. And then Menace, if they have, one creature on their board, they cannot block that my creature with Menace because it has to at least be 2. So it's a free hit on the player and their points. Then we have Trample, and these are the last 3 of the abilities. Trample is excess combat damage is dealt directly to the defending player or planeswalker. I'll get to why that's important in a second. Vigilance, attacking doesn't cause the creature to tap, and ward. When this permanent becomes a target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter it unless they pay an additional cost. So Vigilance is good because you can attack with it, and then when it's an opponent's turn, they can attack you, and you can still use it to block, because a tapped creature cannot block. Trample. Say I have a 10 damage dealing creature, and they get blocked by like a 1/1, so I destroy it, but then I have like 9 points left over. I could have dealt damage to something. Trample will let that damage carry over. Really good. But thank you all for watching so much. I know it was a fairly quick video. I'll be making a part 2 with more in-depth details about the topics, as well as some gameplay, because I found out you can get this game on Steam. If you have any questions or comments, or just want to discuss about different, like, whatever, just let me know. Drop them down in the comments. Thank you again for listening, and yeah, hope you have a good rest of your day.